Welcome to a new series on the Ignite Your Bridge channel called Lessons I Have Learned. I'm going to be showing you hands that I've discussed with my bridge coach, Christoph, in which I learned something really important about how to play this game. This hand comes from the Daily Celebrity Challenge on Into Bridge. It was played against Daniel Corbell, who my coach assures me is a very strong player. He beat me on this board, and we did one key thing differently. And it's all to do with whether or not to overcall at the one level. This is his auction. East opened a club and he decided to overcall one heart. We'll talk about how the rest of that auction went in just a second. On my table, I decided to pass. Okay, what's the conventional age-old wisdom here that was guiding me? Well, my coach assured me that if you showed this hand to a top player in the 1970s, they would definitely tell you not to bid one heart. After all, it's attracting potentially the wrong lead. The Queen 9/5 is far from a stellar suit to advertise to partner. Secondly, this hand is not very strong, so the chances of you winning the auction and being able to play in hearts are not that high. There's every chance this hand belongs to the opponents, that they have the majority of the high card points. So in a sense, one heart is not very constructive. And thirdly, one heart is not that much of a nuisance bid either, because it doesn't deprive the opponents of very many bids other than one diamond, and it actually offers the opponents the double option, being able to make a negative double to show a 4-card spade suit. All of that being said, there are some positives to overcalling here that my expert opponent and my coach saw that I didn't really consider when I played the hand. And they are to do with getting involved in a competitive auction and getting your hand across at a level where it's safe to do so. If you play pairs, you're playing club bridge with a partner, you're not playing on a team or anything, you're just playing a pairs event, you are going to win lots of boards by competing where others don't, and you're going to lose lots of boards by being too passive and just letting the opponents play where they want to. And by not getting involved with one heart here, with what is quite a distributional hand that, let's face it, is not that great defensively, you do just let the opponents get their way. So this is still close. It's not the case that it's slam dunk one heart, and there will be people who are stronger players than me watching this who would probably argue for a pass here. This will divide experts to some extent, I think, this hand. But when you see the positives, at least overcalling can be on your radar. I was raised in a bridge club where if you overcalled a poor suit like this, people scoffed at you and said, this is just bad bridge. That is the conventional wisdom. Okay, let's look at what actually happened. On my table, they bid to 3 clubs, it passed around to me, and I thought, oh no, I've kind of got to do something. I don't just want to let them play in 3 clubs. This was a constructive raise, so I knew that the opponents did have more points than us. However, my shape is very friendly for making a takeout double, and so I opted to do that. Partner bid 3 hearts to my relief, and we actually managed to just go 2 off on this board for a score of minus 100, which is of course better than letting the opponents make either 3 or 4 clubs that they can actually make here. So I thought that was a good score. I thought, okay, I've got in there with the risky takeout double. I was terrified to make it. I thought this could go down in flames. This could be a disaster, but I felt like I had to do something. They took a bunch of tricks. But in the end, with spades breaking 3-3, there was no ruff available for them in this hand. And I was able to get away with just the 6 losers, and I didn't get doubled. So this looked to me like a good result on the surface, making 7 tricks here for minus 100, but it wasn't in this board and match pairs format. By overcalling one heart, my opponent put a cat amongst the pigeons. West felt like they had to make a game try raise here. Now 3 clubs is preemptive. They cannot make that bid naturally, so they're not really able to get their hand across as fully. Then North, with the 4-card support, bidding the law of total tricks, bidding to the fit, 9 trumps, 3 level, was able to come in and deprive East of the entire 3 level, or most of it. East then had to guess. East is sitting there with the ace of hearts. They want to get across the partner, who could have 14 or 15 or 16 points, that they have a heart stopper. But their hand is really not that suited to 3-no trump, so they've got this guess here. They guess wrong. 3-no trump goes 1 down on my opponent's table. And by defeating that contract, namely by dislodging the ace of hearts and getting the heart suit going, my opponent was able to collect a plus score and defeat me on this board. Don't want to be too results oriented. There are disadvantages of bidding one heart here. There are times it's going to go wrong as well. But what I've learned And in this series, I'm always going to say at the end of the video exactly what the lesson is. It's going to strengthen my bridge game. What I've learned is that it can be okay to make overcalls with shapely-ish hands at the 1 level, even though you're not that strong, even though you're advertising potentially a bad lead, and even though you're not depriving the opponents of that much space, because the competitive aspect of bridge, especially at pairs, in the part score battle domain, is just that important. I'll leave you with that thought. Be gentle with your partner next time they overcall a bad suit. They might have a reason for it. Don't just berate them like my wife does to me if I make such an overcall. Hopefully she won't watch this video. See you next time.